Greetings, this is July 29th, and I'd like to take a look at the Flat Lake fire. The southwest flank has made some moves in the last 24 hours. We're looking at an area around the Bridge Lakes, looking west, and just to the left of center is the Flat Lake fire over the horizon. We can see the sunshine still coming through a little bit on the right-hand side. It's almost sunset. This image was taken a few days ago, but if you look on the right-hand side, it may actually be playing out a phenomenon that I'd like to show in the satellite imagery from today. This is the Canadian Wildland Fire Information System, and a link is below in the description from Natural Resources Canada. And we're looking at the Flat Lake Fire perimeter. Those stars are M3 hotspots, and they triangulate the data from 3 different satellite systems. We're going to turn on the most recent data, and this comes out on Greenwich Mean Time, so it's already July 30th there. Here's the new information, and we can see these dark red stars popping up along the southwestern perimeter, and then there's a few new ones in the northern perimeter, and that's where the fire is the most recent. The biggest change actually happened on the changeover from July 28th to 29th, so let's take a look at that. Green Lake is in the lower right-hand side, Big Bar Lake is lower left-hand side, Gustafson Lake is near the top of the screen, left to center, and Horse Lake is just appearing on the right-hand side. There's quite a few hotspots showing right around Cunningham Lake on the southern flank. They appear right at the lake or to the west of the lake in a couple of clusters, and then there's several large clusters just to the east of Alberta Lake and the road to Meadow Lake. This is data from July 28th, and now we'll roll into the 29th, and there we can see this dramatic move to the west and southwest on the fire flank. And now we're rolling into the most recent heat detections. These are for June 30th, Greenwich Mean Time. And if you notice around Cunningham Lake's southern flank, far less infrared showing there. Not much change in the northern flank, juggling around a bit, maybe a slight move to the north, but most of the activity has been on that southern and southwestern flank. Let's zoom in and see the last 3 days again. This is the 28th, and now we're rolling into the 29th. At the top of the screen, it's bunching up against Valenzuela Creek, and there's a new hotspot that's just popped to the west or southwest of the road to Meadow Lake, and we can see it just below Meadow Lake. That comes up again as a red spot, so it is still active within the last 6 hours. A check at 9 p.m. Wind is coming from the north at 10 kilometers an hour at the fire zone. And we're actually looking at a screen from a forecast I took 2 hours earlier, but it was accurate and is displaying the same wind conditions now. There's also another feature on Windy. It's the slider bar at the bottom of the screen. You can move that forward in time to get a forecast from the different weather models. So here we're looking at 6 kilometers from the west at just after midnight, and then slowing down to 1 kilometer an hour from the west around 10 o'clock in the morning tomorrow. It's predicting 5 kilometers an hour from the northeast tomorrow evening, and then the wind is supposed to start shifting and coming from the southeast. And then by Sunday, Monday, it should be fairly steady from the southeast at around 7 kilometers an hour, but there will be gusts involved at the peak of the day. However, we are living in today. It's from the northwest now, 11 kilometers an hour. Tonight, wind should start coming from the west, and then they'll turn a bit towards the morning, come from the northwest again, and then throughout the day they may start to spin around and come from the south and the southeast. On Saturday, the icon model is showing that there may be gusts coming from the northwest in the afternoon, and there's some cloud activity in the forecast, so as systems move overhead, they may jostle the weather a bit. We're looking at satellite imagery from earlier today. This is on NASA's FIRM system. We're looking at the VWIRS scan and then going through a couple others, the MODIS and the Terra and the NOAA. And when so many parts of the province are experiencing wind from the southwest, always it seems that in this region around 70 Mile House, the Flat Lake area, the wind has been coming from the north and the northwest. And here in this photograph sent in by a friend in the Interlakes area, we're looking at the Flat Lake fire, and over to the north side, the right-hand side of the screen, there's this ray of sunlight coming through on an angle. And on this image today from the VWIRS system, we can see this angle. The Flat Lake fire is just below center on the screen. That's where the smoke is coming from in these pictures. Difficult to tell which direction the wind is coming from. One side of the fire on the right-hand side appears to head in a northeasterly direction. Other places the smoke streams head in a southeasterly direction. When we zoom out and look at it from above, it's quite the weather phenomenon. It's a very stark sheer line heading from the fire zone to the northeast. Flat Lake is still in the center of the screen, and that clear area to the top of the screen, that's where winds are coming from the north. And then below, winds are coming from the southwest and pushing that smoke up against those northern breezes and moving the smoke east. This is the Tremont Creek fire, just below center on the screen. Ashcroft is to the left-hand side of the screen. We can see the Pavilion fire to the top left-hand side of the screen, that thick patch of smoke there, heading almost in a northeasterly direction. Kamloops is over to the right-hand side of the screen, and then just to the right above center is the Bonaparte, and it's very difficult to tell which direction the wind is going. There's smoke streams coming from the north, heading to the southeast. There's other streams coming from the southwest and then heading to the northeast. Here's the White Rock Lake fire. It's just to the left of center on the screen, and that smoke is pouring into the Vernon area and the North Okanagan, and even within the White Rock Lake fire, different wind directions. Some billow to the northeast, some are moving directly west. Without the labels, it'd be difficult to tell where this image is from. We're looking at the southern interior around the lower Arrow Lakes. Rossland and Trail are towards the bottom of the screen, and Castlegar is just below center and to the right. The smoke looks like it spends a lot of time milling around, and then as it gains in altitude, it starts pushing to the northeast and catches some of these southwest breezes. A little bit faster in the mountain areas, the higher elevations, and then it slows down and the smoke settles in the valleys. And we can see this smoke and wind behavior throughout the southern interior, and then to the north around Prince George, it's all coming from the north, and it reaches a zenith right at the Flat Lake fire. That's the point on this triangle. It's a very unusual phenomenon, and I thought you might be interested in this, considering such varied wind conditions around the Flat Lake area, around 70 Mile House, and perhaps what crews are also dealing with. Thank you very much for watching. I will check the infrared as it comes in after 12:30 just to see if there's been any movement. Do check those links yourself. Zoom into the area of your concern, because information takes time to process and upload, and you can get that information very quickly by checking up on the updates. Please be safe out there and keep your nose to the breeze.